Hello everybody, thank you so much for coming back and watching. So today I'm going to be doing my very first favorites video. This is November favorites and I'm really excited because favorite videos are my favorite to watch. So recording it is going to be a lot of fun, and I feel like I have really awesome products that I can share with you guys. So if you're interested, then just keep watching. Alright, so my very first favorite is the Maybelline Fit Me foundation. This is the Dewy and Smooth formula. I really like this. It says it's for normal to dry skin, which I have pretty dry skin. I'm in the color 230 Natural Buff, and I love it. It's so great. It feels really lightweight. When you apply it, it just goes on so smoothly. I like to apply it with a stipple brush, but I've also used a beauty blender, which is also great because if you feel like it's a little too dewy for your skin, then a beauty blender is a really good option because it will soak up any excess foundation that might cake up on your face. So this does have SPF, but I haven't seen any flashbacks or anything in flash photography, and it hasn't oxidized on me either, so I really like that. I love wearing this for an everyday foundation if I don't feel like wearing anything super full coverage. I would say it's about a medium coverage, and it's really gorgeous. I think that everyone should try it out, and it's a drugstore product, so it's really affordable. My next favorite is this. This is the Essence Pure Nude highlighter. It's in the color number 10, Be My Highlight, and this highlight is so good. I was always hesitant to buy it just because it is a very light highlighter, and most people that were talking about it had very fair complexions, and I have a pretty tan yellowish olive skin tone. I don't know, it's kind of weird to explain. I think I'm more yellow toned than anything. Well, I tried it and I love it. It's so great. I love it so much. I'm wearing it right now. I don't know if you can see that little sheen on my cheeks. It leaves a really nice sheen on your skin. See that? It's like, it's not glittery. It's not too intense. And when you blend it out, it just kind of becomes a part of your skin. Definitely think everyone should try it out. At least try it out, guys. My next favorite is an eyeshadow palette, and it's the Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Contour palette. So I actually hauled this palette during my Sephora VIB haul. There's a really good mix of warm tones and cool tones in this palette, and they do give you 3 shades that serve as transition shades or like highlight shades in this one's case. My favorites in these shades, or in this palette, is this one, and these 2 brown shades, and this like reddish brown color. Basically all the browns. I really like warm tones. Another really cool detail about this palette is that it has all of the shade names on the back. So that's really helpful if, like, say your friend has a palette and you're trying to talk to them about it and give them a look, then you can just give them the names, or if you're doing like a tutorial. The only downside to this palette, I think I would say, is that it's very pigmented and there's a good amount of fallout whenever you use an eyeshadow, so just be mindful of how much you're dipping your brush in there. I just use a light dip of my brush, and that is plenty. Next up, I have my Anastasia Glow Kit in That Glow. I keep hearing that this is discontinued. I am really confused and upset about that because this is like one of my favorite highlighting palettes ever. I like these 3 the most. I like Sunburst, Bubbly, and Dripping in Gold. I like to mix them usually. I used the golden bronze a good amount during the summertime when I was more tan. This is a gorgeous palette. I think I'm going to be using this for the rest of my life. I think that they should bring it back, just saying. My next favorite is the Nars Creamy Concealer. I know I'm like the last person on the face of the earth to try this, but it's so good. I am in the color Medium 2 Ginger, and it's so good. The doe foot applicator is like the perfect size, and it picks up just the right amount so that it's not like globs of concealer on your face. I find that it's not too runny and it doesn't just sheer out to nothingness. I hate that. It still has really amazing coverage. Other favorites that I have for concealer are the Tarte Shape Tape. That one's just really thick though, and it's kind of harder to work with, but the coverage is amazing on that. Urban Decay Naked Concealer. I love that one so much. It's way thinner. It does have good coverage, but I feel like the Nars Creamy Concealer has more coverage than Naked, but they're very comparable in my opinion. My last favorite for concealer is the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. That is a thick concealer, but I definitely have to use a sponge with that. With this one, I can use a beauty blender or I can use a brush. Either one works just as well. So I keep raving about this, so I thought that I would just mention it again in this video. This is the Morphe M501 brush. I use it for highlighting, and it's honestly the best brush I've ever used for highlighting. I used to have the hardest time with highlighting. I don't know what that was. I used to have the hardest time highlighting. I felt like my highlight would go everywhere, like it was too thick, or if I used something thinner then it would just be like a strip of highlight, and I hated it. I could not figure it out, but I watched one of Jaclyn Hill's videos and she was like raving about this, and obviously Jaclyn is like queen of highlights, so I was like, you know what, I should get it. I ended up picking it up. I love it. It's absolutely perfect. It is a tapered brush, if you can see that. So it does go up into a point at the end, but it's super fluffy so that it doesn't pick up too much product at one time. And you can just take one side of the brush like that and then just swipe it on, and it just deposits the right amount of highlight exactly where you want it. I like to sweep it up and down and then kind of go in this motion just to blend it out just a tad, and it's perfect. If you don't already have it and you're having problems with your highlight, I definitely recommend you going out and buying this one. My next favorite is this Bobbi brown eyeshadow in Camel. This is a very popular eyeshadow, I think, in the YouTube community. It's just this brownish mustard color almost. People say it's like a baby puke color. I think that's so funny. I feel like this is a really great transition shade for basically any look that I'm doing. I think for my skin tone, it blends really well. It looks like just a shadow on my skin. So it's really nice and pigmented. They feel really smooth. This is the color right here. Concentrated. So you blend it out and it's just this gorgeous brownish yellowy shade. I don't know how to explain it. I feel like this is always the shade that people use to compare other eyeshadows, if that makes sense, but I haven't found a complete dupe yet. It's just, this is its own color and it's gorgeous. So something that I've been doing lately that I didn't used to do, I felt like I was perfectly fine without them. I started using false lashes and I am obsessed with them. I've been getting into the habit of using them for like everyday looks, and I love it. I've heard that you get addicted to using false lashes and to not start, but I think that I'm going down that road and I'm okay with it. So the first ones that I have are the Sephora Collection eyelashes in Flirt number 30. Obviously, everyone loves the Ardell Demi Wispies. I think they're really good for every day. They just add a really nice texture. I also just picked up these Eyelure lashes. These are the texture multi-pack. I only have one pair in there because I'm wearing one and then another pair I already tossed. And I've also really been into the Kiss Trio lashes. It has 3 little individuals on one little knot. Individual lashes are so hard for me to use. They have an amazing effect, but I feel like whenever I put them on my eyelashes, they just look really wonky and they're like not in a straight line. And it's very frustrating and time consuming. These are great because you have 3 of the individuals in one thing. It's just so much easier to work with. I don't know. I prefer the xshort and the short for most looks because the mediums are a little too long for me when it comes to individuals. So when I apply these, I just use my tweezers and my House of Lashes lash glue, which I use with all of my false lashes. Really, really easy to work with. I love this. My next favorite is this Colourpop Ultra Matte Lip in the color Lovebug. Just such a gorgeous, like, orangey red color. So it's coming off a little more red on camera, but once it dries down, it turns into this like deep reddish orange color. I think this color is perfect for fall, and it looks great with a lot of eye looks. I will admit it is very drying, but I feel like if I know I'm going to be wearing this and I exfoliate my lips and then use my Bite Agave lip treatment right on top while I'm doing my makeup, if I do all of that and then I apply this, it's not too bad. Like, I guess it's because I already braced myself for it to be really drying, but I don't know. I really, really like it. I think they're amazing. It lasts all day. So the next thing that I have to talk about is actually a tool of some sorts. And this is the Sephora Color Switch by Vera. So it's this little scrubby sponge thing. Mine's really dirty because I use it like every single day. But you can take it out and wash it as well and reuse it. But basically what you do is you take any eyeshadow brush that you have and kind of just swirl it in here, and because of the texture of this sponge, it removes all of the excess powders in your brush and it basically swipes it all clean for the next use. This has really helped with my looks. It keeps my looks from getting muddy on my lids because I do have really small eyelid space. So making sure that I have clean lines and just really defined shadows is important to me. I just feel like everyone could find a use for this, and they're very cheap too. So yeah, I definitely recommend this. So the second to the last thing I have to talk to you guys about is a hair product. This is the Bumble and Bumble BB Thickening Spray. It says dry spray creates instant fullness and holds airy texture. Since I've cut my hair short, I really like to get some nice texture in it, and I feel like the top of my head sometimes can start looking flat. So I think that this is amazing for that. It keeps the texture instead of when, like, I don't know if you guys have this issue, but sometimes when I curl my hair and then I kind of run my fingers through it, after like an hour or so, my curls will start to like combine with each other and then just turn into like this big wave, if you know what I mean. And this prevents that from happening. What you do is just shake it up and then spray it into your hair like that and kind of run your fingers through it, fluff it up. And I lift my hair up here and I just spray in it, leave it up a little, and then put it down and kind of just run my fingers all up in my hair. And yeah, so that is how I get the texture in my hair. I really, really love it. I think even though it's a pricey spray, I think that it's worth it. So I used to have a pretty big obsession with Bath & Body Works. So I ended up buying a bag of literally all frosted coconut snowball. Whenever I walked in there and saw that they had their holiday collection, I was like, oh my gosh, that means that my favorite scent ever of all time is back. And that was actually Jingle All the Way. And it wasn't there. And I was like, oh my gosh, they got rid of Jingle All the Way. Oh my goodness, I have absolutely no reason to come into Bath & Body Works anymore. I was walking around and then I was like sniffing this and I was like, this smells almost exactly like Jingle All the Way. So when I got home, I compared the two. I was doing like a sniff test and they honestly smell very identical. Since they didn't actually come out with this scent, I think that this one is going to be a good substitute for me. Alright guys, so that completes my November favorites. I hope that you enjoyed it. As always, if you like this video, please like it, share it, comment, and also subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!